Happy Monday. That's when the video will be shared. So you're doing great. Um, and you found something fun to do for yourself this weekend. Um, oops. Sometimes when you're working on other things, you forget to turn off the volume on YouTube. So now I know that that's working. All right. I recently had a class and I had some leftover kits. So I wanted to share some of that. And I'll show you what we did and then I maybe change it a little bit and do something different. So, about that? Um, Remember that Christmas in July is coming. So every day in the month of July, we'll have a short video showing you a project of some kind. And if you purchase $75 before tax and shipping, I will be sharing with you every PDF recipe for each project during the month of July. Now, understand you won't get that PDF until August because I won't have finished all of them yet when you order. So, thank you everyone for every order. That helps this little orange grow on this chart behind me. So thank you for that. So with all of that, let's go ahead and get started and let's see what we can do different with the class projects. Let me share the camera. So now you have to depend on captions. And we hope that they're right. All right. So for this first one, let's see what we're going to play with. Our dies from the cutest crew. This is what the project looked like. Ink. All right, let's grab a pack and get started. Oh, here's the stamps. We're going to use the little birds. All right. Here. So for every one of my classes, I pack them like this. So you get two envelopes because you typically during class you make two cards. We are going to make one and show you how we did it. Let's do that. Sort. And then I need scrap. This tan is some textured paper that I had on the shelf, some specialty. It had three different shades of that, like a tan, a beige, and gold, I think it said. All right, for this one, we're going to stamp off. I know there it is. And create a background. Let's pull in my little scrap paper. And let's just stamp random. And I did not stamp off, so let's stamp off right there. Not going to be seen in the middle. And I think we're good. That's crumb cake. I know it doesn't look like crumb cake on there, but I promise it is. Not sure why that one shaded tan or green, turned a green color. It's just weird. All right, now let's stamp our little, just a little hello. This is 3 by 3. I did not bring my shimmy over here. It'll be all right. I'll just turn them upside down. Oh, oops. Yep, that's all I need to stamp. So let's assemble. Oops, nope. Let's do the bird feet. And we're going to use crumb cake for that. Like crazy little birds all over that beach. That's kind of what it looks like to me. All right, I can turn these. So over here. All right, let's assemble. This is 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And yes, Becky, I just turned it over for us. Every time I go to put adhesive, doesn't matter if it has a stamped image on it or not, I turn it over. Isn't that fun? How many of you do that? All right, this little guy is gonna get some adhesive. It's gonna go right. This helps me keep make sure that I still got all of my pieces and parts. And that's peeling up the paper. So let's do it a little gentler. Because there feels like there's so many, I like going ahead and assembling my project so that I make sure I've got all my pieces and parts. These two guys go together. And that allowed me to add a little pop of color with the browns and the blacks. Right? Adhesive, this balmy blue is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 square. I'm just gonna pop it. Need some more right there. Where are the birds? Didn't get as low as I thought they would. So, now that space is filled in. All right, let's color our little guys right here. This is Daffodil Delight for their beaks. I always use the bullet tip when it's small spaces. This is, we're going to use the light Peaceful Pine. And we're going to use the dark balmy blue to color in the tip is yucky. When I've got a larger space, I tend to lay the brush on the side and color it that direction. It goes faster, especially for videos. If I want to take the time, then I would use the bullet tip. But, I appreciate everybody who watches, and I want to respect your time and not make it take all night. Right? Twist. So now we have some Bonnie Blue little birds. Let's grab our uh, little die cutting sheet. These dies do not come on this magnetic sheet. They actually come on a paper sheet inside there. Paper sheet and I do not get along. So I order the magnetic sheets from Stampin' Storage. We get along much better. And I was finding that if I left my dies on the paper, I never used them. So when I started using the magnetic sheets, I use my dies a lot. I just bumped the camera or the computer. I'm glad the camera was on that. These are little Post-it note flags, and they hold those in place perfectly. Back on the magnetic sheet, slide it right down in there, and voila. Now let's grab some dimensionals. It has been raining off and on this weekend. It's super muggy outside, but I hear a piece of equipment, so it must mean that hubby got it fixed. Looks like. Oh, all right, there. Oh, we're not done. I wanted this to have like a double bow, so I just like double pieces of twine. Um, give yourself enough space to tie it. And then I saw my friend Chris had her twine in a little spice jar with it coming out that to keep it organized. And it's like, huh, who would have thought of using spice jars for that? But you could have them all lined up and you could have all different colors in there. This little jars she was using had held 3 spools of twine. So you could do that. You could so do that. Let's cut some of this off. All right, our little blue dots. And then put our little bow right there. Isn't that cute? Isn't it adorable? So on the one I did in class, I just stamped down the side. And this one we created our own designer series paper, basically. Gave it a good background. All right, so there's that card. Let's move it out of the way and start working on the next one. I'm not sure, but I think this either the punch or the dies in this shape have retired, but I'm not sure which. Um, actually, I could look that up real quick. 1 second. Just so we know. But you don't have to use that specific shape. You can use whatever shape punch you want. It's lovely something. Let's see if that'll work. That. Let's go shop. Let's go. I am. Okay. Shop. Punches. There we go. The leaf, the rounded rectangle, the butterfly for all of flutter. Those are still there. I don't have this one. Oh, it's still there. Oh, it's on the last chance and it's $12.50. It's called Labeled with Love. So instead of being 25, right now it's 12.50 as of the recording of this video. So if you want to punch, there you go. Let's make our card. We're going to do something similar to this, but not exactly that. This is the Stampin' Up! Washi tape. This one is Extraordinary Floral Washi. I bought two. It starts, you can see how big it starts. And I've used quite a bit, but there's still a lot. See? Let's get directly under the camera. There's still a lot left. So that's right on the edge over here. And you can see how much is left. A lot. This makes a ton of cards. I've used it in 2 or 3 classes. I've used it on team cards. I've used it a lot. I'm telling you, if you love that extraordinary floral, it has a die that goes with it, but we're not using that die tonight. We are going to make a cute little card. This is what we did in class. We're going to start similar to this, but we're going to change it up because, and that stamp, Have a Lovely Day, is from June's Paper Pumpkin Kit. All right. And then that song, Lovely Day, just popped into my head. Imagine that. So this is for the inside. This is for the outside. You right over there. Let's get this going. 5.5, 8.5, scored at 4.25. Again, I am one of those people who like to get all my pieces and parts out of the way so that I don't lose anything. All right, adhesive. Let's go ahead and stick it on the inside where it belongs. It's 4 by 5.25. And we're going to fold this back and make a little fun fold. This will lay right here, but it's okay to have extra. All right, so now let's start with our washi. And this washi tape has 2 different colors on it. So one is more fresh freesia and grape colors, and then it's the reds. So make it go down to 1. I'm gonna try to line up the edge of my paper, but I might not get it directly on it. And that's why I cut that piece a little bit bigger. Right, now I forgot my little rolly thing. Hang on one second. And my paper trimmer was over there. All right. So to get this off, just simply take your snips or scissors of choice. We all see it. And then just simply run the edge of your scissors down that, and that's the washi. There. And then I'm going to use this sprayer. I'm like, what is that called? I'll flatten that out really good. Make sure it's good and sealed. And then I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. And I'm going to cut off this side. I'm going to make it square. So I know that I want this trimmed off. You don't really see the edge where it doesn't have any washi. I want that red trimmed off. So let's get that. Straighten out this side where I was a little crooked. And then let's straighten this up down here a little. So that piece of basic white started at 3.5 by 5. So just lay your washi on there. It's okay. Let's make it just a tad small. That way it's got a little, like it's going off the edge because you don't want it to be exactly. There we go. Much better. So just eyeball trimming is totally fine. And then we're going to take some of this shaded spruce retired ribbon and tie us a bow. I always start like this. I start with my loose end over here if I'm wrapping it around. And I pull this over here and tie my bow. This ribbon did tie really well. All right, and some. Put this on right here. And it's okay to see that, or if you don't want to see that, you can add a piece of basic white behind it. But I need to know where it is. And that's going to be on this side of my finger is where it goes. Nice. Yeah, you can see it wrapped around there, but that's okay. Totally okay. All right, and now we need to have one of these shapes. For this one, I punched it first so I can see exactly where I'm going to stamp because I want it closer to the edge and I want it closer to this edge. Hold it down on there and say, your name is wonderful. That way you've got a little bit of self love and adoration today. Because you are wonderful. While I was over there, I grabbed a Stampin' chamois so I can clean my stamp. Let's lay it right up here so we can use it again. All right, I am one of those that, yes, you can cut it with scissors, but I'm afraid I'll cut it crooked. So here so you can see it. I've got it lined up right against those ridges. Cut. And now I know I've got a good straight cut. Dimensionals. My friends use their take your pick tool and take those off really fast. I'm not fast. I'm going to put it right on the edge right here. All right. How's that for a fun little fold? And a little bit different. Yes, it's different color than those flowers, but that's okay. That way you get one of each. All right. Ready for the next one? Let's keep moving along. This one I used the oops, using Peaceful Pine ink, using some of this pretty bubble bath ribbon, because I have a whole stack of it over there. And this one we're not going to change up. We're just going to do the same card because I love it. So this vellum was from the can't think, product of the month. So what that simply means is if you spend $75, they will offer you a opportunity to get whatever the product of the month is, and that month happened to be vellum, and it was in 3 or 4 different patterns. So I'll be playing with it some more. It's so pretty. It's thicker than a regular vellum because I feel like because it's printed, and I'm using Sweetly Scripted, and I'm going to stick with Happy Birthday. Stampin' Up! No longer makes red rubber stamps. So if you find some red rubber stamps, you know that they are a little bit older, and that's totally, totally fine. All right, let's go ahead and fold our regular card base. And let's go ahead on this. You can tell which is the front and the back. It gives it a little bit different. Like this is more muted. So you use what you want to use on that. I want the bright side on the top. So oops, that's kind of gushy. This one I feel doesn't show the glue as much as some of our other vellum does, because I know that before we had to be really careful, and let's smear that. How many of you knew that this end existed? Because we always use the other end, right? Just smear that right over here. Glue will come out that end as well. Just saying. But we always tend to use the other end. This is our piece that is 5¼ by 4. Right against the edges. There we go. And it looks like I got that one a little bit. All right. And on this one, oh, I need to stamp it first. Stamp our sentiment. Piece fine, but I don't want all of the, I could put the whole thing on it, but I don't want it. Just want it like that, but I don't want all of the loop-de-loos over here. How about that? The new stamp set or the new stamp cases, you can definitely open them with one hand. And it's okay for this side to hang off because I can grab my chamois and clean it off the table or my work surface, which happens to be a glass mat with a nice piece of window frosting material on it. Thank you to my wonderful friend Beck, who provided that for me. It has made a difference in my videos. All right, here's where we put chamois, clean our stamp off. Clean our desk off so we don't get it on our white card. Now it's time for the ribbon. So for this, because I know that I want to wrap it around there a couple of times, I'm going to let it hang off the edge over here. And right at the edge of that vellum. Wrap it as many times as you want, but I feel like that's plenty. And then tie my bow. All right. And if you've got your bow, if you're not happy with where it's located on the card after you tie it, I'm going to show you how to move it a little bit. Thank you all for watching. If you're watching the replay, let me know. All right, see, that slid it, and then you can slide it back up there. So it's covering that lower edge of that vellum. All right, let's go ahead and put it on the card first, and then we'll trim it. I usually create different cards for my videos than I do for my classes, but I thought, nope, I've got a couple of kits left. Let's use them, get the cards made, and that way I can use the cards and get some packages sent. This way. Trying to match up. A long point goes on the bottom. There we go. All right, so there's our cards for tonight. Let me grab them and bring them all back in. There's one, this one, and this one. How do you like? See what you missed in class? All right. So if you, um, I know I don't have enough of that paper. Anyway, I will start doing a card class online. If you want to do a craft together, we can do that. But for right now, this is the class for tonight. Thank you for watching. And remember that in July, every day in July, a short little video will pop. Oh, where's the mouse? Come now, see. Stop the screen share. So every day in July, there will be some kind of project for Christmas in July. So watch for that. If you order $75 before tax and shipping, I will share a PDF with all of the projects from July. So that PDF will be shared with you by email in August, hopefully the first week. So I'll keep a list of who orders. is helping that orange grow. And I will see you next week. Do something fun for yourself, and whether it's sitting and reading a book, if it's listening to your favorite music, if it's just sitting and just enjoying whatever you like to enjoy. Have a great week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.